Okay, have to have this to access the microphone. How were your holidays? Oh, I am so grateful I don't have to do that car thing right now. I did get spoiled all the years I had cars, except, no, actually, I had cars in November. I had cars here in New England, but then I lived in Southern California, I lived in North Carolina. Um, Although in North Carolina, on the farm, our driveway was not paved, and it didn't take much of any kind of moisture to slick it on out into that North Carolina red clay. Matter of fact, the biggest and most amazing spiritual experience of my life happened on a snow day. And I kept my husband home that day specifically because we got a light snow. It wasn't going to get very heavy, but a shower, a little like a sun shower, he drove the van right into the ditch on the side of the driveway. So it's like, stay home. It may snow a lot, it may snow a little, but just relax, chill out. And so he did. And he went and walked the dogs for 45 minutes. And during that 45 minutes, my father visited me. So yeah, it was an amazing experience on a snow day. That sounds good. Yeah, that's pretty much what most of my family did. I mean, I wasn't there, but my sister has a daughter, and they were celebrated together with the in-laws as well. And then I guess my niece celebrated with her dad's, and that was nice. I just, I was here taking care of business. I baked and I baked, and sent the cookies and cakes out into the world. So it was nice. Now I'm trying to get some stuff done for Gloria, because with the holidays especially, we're both so deaf and she's worse than I am, so we don't do phone calls anymore. And she can't write anymore. Her hands won't do it, so I like to just send her a note. It's not just a painting. So we'll keep trying. Well, now that Christmas is over, I can stop doing ornaments on the trees. Maybe go do a little bird. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that is the nice thing about an apartment. I liked that. When we moved to Providence, Rhode Island, after living in North Carolina, it was such a luxury for someone else to do the big driveway and our parking space. And it's like, oh, thank you. Made it a lot easier to enjoy, the whole snow thing. Now, Providence got a good deal more snow while we were there than did North Carolina. I am always disappointed when it snows while I'm sleeping and can't watch it. When there's not enough light to really enjoy it. But when it started hitting, did you notice how bright the sky got? My whole apartment lit up without even having to turn a light on. It was cool. But that was, the bluish gray light, the super dense snow and mist around it. It was pretty, but it was also bedtime, so hmm. see if I can get a teeny red bird on top of that. Oh, I went with the alizarin crimson. Oh well. Yeah, well, they were warning about that. Now we're getting another storm warning, but I didn't listen to it. It just came in a few minutes ago. I am a bit concerned about the potential for tornadoes where my son is in St. Louis. So I will be staying tuned. Come on. Now that's what I don't like about alizarin crimson. It just looks so, it looks like dried blood to me. You know, once it dries, it's like, eh. You mix it with something and you get some beautiful colors, but ew. All right, let's try again. I need a finer point. Where's my pointer? A spotter. And let's get some real red. You know, I was so excited about getting this empty palette so I could put 24 of my real watercolors in it. And it's not turned out to be the best thing. The spots are really good for mixing, but your little lump of watercolor, when it's dry, it just pops right out. You know, like it's in plastic, it's too smooth. I don't know, I think if I was designing it, I would put texture on the bottom, on part of it, to give it something to hold on to. Because it's a watercolor, when you want to clean it or get the last of the pigment, you just add a little water and it dissolves, so it's not a bad thing. Okay, I think I'll go with it. I'll put acrylic on it, clear acrylic, and that'll bring the red out, so it won't look so much like, you know, ew. All right, now we have 0.1. I'm trying to wear these out so I can start my new set. The ink at this point is not all that reliable. Okay, I know what their beak looks like. I just can't remember the mask. Ugh. Well, I guess we don't want to get too... No, I can't let myself do it. Let me just pull up an image. Image of a male cardinal. Yeah, there it is. I was wrong about that. I reversed the colors. They have orange beaks. Why did I forget? Because I haven't fed them in 10 years, I guess. Okay. Shame on thee. I've gotten hooked on these peppermint, oh, it's the mint M&Ms for the holiday. I don't care what color it is, but I really like it. It's like a nice ratio of chocolate to mint. All right, maybe we can correct this with some acrylic paint. Uh-huh. See, that's what happens. It pops right out. Whether it's this cheap 99-cent one or my big fancy one. Oh, don't tell me. Of course, I haven't used this in a while. Let's get clever. Okay, back to chat. Thank you. I know, and I do love chocolate mint, and it's always been one of my favorite flavors since I was a little kid. Mint chocolate chip was like first choice in ice cream. I even have some in my freezer. I also have plain vanilla in my freezer. Those 2 pints have been in my freezer for, you know, at least 2 weeks. I've only taken 2 mouthfuls out of one of them. But anyway. Okay, the black. It's like the mask. And the paint needs moderating with orange. Do you have a favorite flavor? Do you have some of the same tastes as an adult that you had as a child? I mean, I know our taste buds change and all that. But I noticed a few things that I liked since I was very young. Once I discovered pepperoncini, it was a little too much vinegar for me. I didn't like what a lot of people like, taking a bite and drinking the whole mouthful of brine. I did not like that part. But I found I really did like the spicy stuff, which I definitely was not raised with. And then wasn't around it for a long time. Rediscovered it as an adult. And now I love all kinds of hot peppers. You're bleeding. Lip. Not bright enough. All right, let's go. Straight yellow. Chocolate chip cookie dough. Oh my God, that is way too sweet for me. Now see, I have never once tried cookie dough. I have an aversion to the concept. I do like chocolate chip cookies now and then though. Is that caramel? Caramel and gummy bears. Does that have a specific flavor? I mean, name? I love caramel. On the rare occasions I get a sundae, no matter what I end up using for ice cream, I always try to have caramel and like hot caramel and hot fudge, whipped cream and nuts, no cherry. Yes, I am not either. More of it usually goes in the garbage than I eat. So now I just restrict myself to using or buying a pint at a time, because a pint for me is at least 4 servings most of the time. I made the mistake. My old buddy in Dublin, he told me how his treat his indulgence was to just lay back with a bib on and go to town on a pint of Ben and Jerry's chocolate fudge brownie. I think that's what it's called. And to me, that was just a completely gross thing to do, to eat an entire pint in one sitting. I realize it's not that unusual. There's really not that much ice cream when you think about it. Matter of fact, in the old days, that would be one sundae. They'd just pile that, would be like what, 3 or 4 scoops, boom. But he ate the whole thing and, made a glutton of himself with it. And I thought, well, as a once in a while indulgence, okay. And finally one day it was like, it was on sale, try it. At least find out why that's the only one he goes insane with. Well, I finished it in 2 sittings. It was really addictive. The texture of it, the flavor was great, but something about the texture, part of chewiness and cold and meltiness, it just works. And I overdid it, and after that, I realized I can't buy it anymore. Definitely not good for me to eat that kind of quantity of ice cream or sugar. So we just do not bring it into the house anymore. All right, we're going to risk a black dot here. But this is too big. Well, I would have to say, if you like chocolate brownies and ice cream, you will probably like it. There's a strong chance you might like it too much, and it will be bad for your health. You might have more restraint than I have. I certainly did not exhibit any that day or the next, because it didn't languish in my freezer the way most ice cream does. Now, I get vanilla now because during the summer, beginning of the summer, I was concerned about people who deliver to me because of how high up and far away I am from the elevator. So I wanted to make sure I always had a drink to offer them, and there happened to be a soda sale for small servings of soda. I don't believe soda being good for you, so I got ginger ale just in case somebody was, needing some settling of their stomach or something, and root beer, because it being summer, I got the urge for a root beer float. So I bought some vanilla ice cream and I got some of those, and it turns out that one of those little cans is absolutely perfect for 1 glass and a little spoonful of vanilla ice cream. It's like, I'm a child again. And in fact, I went crazy trying to find my stupid straws. When you do a float, you need a straw. And I purchased a box of straws. Disappeared. I have no idea where they are. I think I purchased them a second time, and once again, I cannot find them. The only straws I have is when I go to a restaurant with somebody and they get a straw and they give it to me, and I take it home like some impoverished straw collector. And I save it. I think I have one saved right now. Should I ever get that urge again? So I do have several cans in the refrigerator. I would try escaping. Yeah, well, I think you would have a winner. So it's the Ben and Jerry. Although I'm not buying anything from them now that they are no longer Ben and Jerry. But I actually bought Haagen-Dazs this time. And I'm learning nowadays you really need to look at those labels and make sure it's actually a ice cream. and not a dairy product, which may or may not contain any dairy, I mean milk or cream. You got to watch out for the coffee because of the coffee not being, when they're inspected, you know, they look for mold for coffee beans, and a lot of mold going through, and the company's not reporting back about it, not covering why or proving that they no longer have mold in their beans. And I was horrified to find out my favorite brand was one of those people who have not answered inquiries about the mold found in their beans. Not all of them. But yeah, we cannot trust anything that comes on the grocery store shelves anymore because of who owns all the stuff on the shelves. It's like a handful of companies. Everybody small is bought up by somebody big. Ben and Jerry's and everything you look at. Look at the new parent company. That was like when I was an online psychic. I was a reader. I watched the company from its birth to its sell-off to AT&T. It's now a subsidiary of AT&T. AT&T owns all that psychic stuff now. They bought it all up. Just like when I signed up with a very small group that seemed as legit as they could be, good intentions, shall we say, good spiritual values. I felt that I could work with this group. They sold out too, and didn't tell me that they sold out. And I found out by accident when I got a call from somebody looking for Miss Cleo. And I didn't even know who the hell Miss Cleo was because I lived on the farm with no TV, and I had no idea about infomercials and all that. So yeah, we can't just assume, because the government is undermining all of the protections, every single one, clean air, clean water, clean soil, all of it is being undermined currently. So we can't trust. I mean, if we could, we wouldn't be having children dying of measles. There's this awesome guy on YouTube. I just love him. John Walton, I think his name is. Walton or Walden? Anyway, his channel's I Got Rights, and rights spelled like W-R-I-T-S. He is just brilliant. He's very funny and really good at editing. He does good short videos, to the point. And he did one of the YouTube shorts about insurance, and he pointed out on a chart, said, well, all the people who voted against saving healthcare prices from going up are in the top 10 states, and all those states are governed by red governors. They're very heavily Republican. They support Trump, and they're supporting the big, beautiful, ugly bill. And we already know those areas, those people are not doing the vaccinating. They think that horse wormer will cure them of COVID, and God only knows what else disease. No, this is not the time. Wait until the crazies are out of this, because all the responsible people are resigning. You don't want her. No, you don't get that money for school until you're out, unless they have some new deal just to try and get you to sign up. But I would not go near that, because they'll just renege on everything. I mean, right now they just gave away checks and got all these people excited. The military is everybody's getting a check for $1,776. It's like, you freaking morons! They just took that out of veterans' housing funds. They're going to end up not having money to cover the program that it was meant to cover, which is housing for veterans. And these people are cheering it on like he did some kind of great thing, like he took it out of his own pocket. Like, no, he just stole from another allowance. So yeah. I have a friend whose daughter was already enlisted, and she got suddenly shipped out to Hawaii. And that was just before we attacked somebody or started messing with the Venezuelan waters and bombing boats. I'm proud of her. Good. And I'm sorry that she had to do that. But yeah, when Hegseth got in, he immediately started undermining everything he could in the Naval Academy and in the Navy. Look what he did with the Coast Guard. Oh, we have bad people there right now. They're traitors. I don't mind saying that. I'm not against people joining the armed forces, but I'd like to see them do so under honorable and competent leadership, because this leadership is not leadership, and they're going to get troops killed because of their ineptness, their rashness. They're playing at the military like it's a video game. So yeah, now is not the time. But your daughter's got time. There's other things that she can explore in the meantime until the time is right. We're only talking about a year or two. I expect big changes this January. Big changes. All right, well, that's one note card. I just have to write something on the back of it and then it's done. Oh, maybe I'll make a little frame on it. After all, I do have the brush out. Should we go with a flat watercolor or an iridescent? Yeah, let's go flat for contrast. Oh, yeah, I'll go super flat. The last of my sky blue gouache. You know, I watched my mother go downhill. She passed at 89 from dementia. Well, you know, dementia itself, she ended up with a stroke. The brain just started shutting down enough where she ended up with a stroke, and 3 days, and went right into a coma and passed 3 days later. It was a very gentle passing. But my mom was doing the same thing in her last year. She was falling asleep. Now, he is constantly being reminded of things, but the things he talks about most is the things that are most emotional to him and still alive in the past. So he's out there. I saw a little clip of him at the Christmas party that he was at. Literally nobody was sitting next to him. People were just walking around and ignoring him sitting there in the chair. Like nobody wanted to talk to him. We know what he is. And the proof is so obvious. It's just that the people who are going to be revealed are in danger of being revealed are extremely dangerous people. So they're going to be fighting in the background to eliminate anybody or any possibility of exposing themselves. But I don't think that's going to go on forever, because eventually, what's that? The chickens come home to roost? There is one multi-billionaire who basically lives in seclusion um, to avoid his earlier, well, his past. The thing is, although, of course, it will embarrass people, in some cases, there will be nobody to actually press charges against them anymore. Some of the people who can expose them are gone. Suicides, silenced other ways. But I love what Clinton did. Release the files. Release everything with me. All my pictures, anything you got on me, Bill Clinton, we're saying go ahead and expose it. No innuendo. Just put it out, all out there. We're good. All of it is. All of it is. Oh, shit. Let's clean that up now. Women should not have to live in this kind of an environment anyway. You know, it's long not been a secret. Hollywood's infamous casting couches, the fashion industry with their emaciated models, beauty pageants, compete to be the next rich man's girlfriend. Yeah, it's we have created these sicknesses. It's like adultifying little kids. I love seeing children learning how to dance. Any kind of dance. Your spirit is talking through dance, like singing. But when they put all that makeup on them and put little high heels on 7-year-olds, I want to just take those mothers and slam them up against the wall. Like, you stupid bitch, you're objectifying your own child. You're teaching her that her outside is way important, way more important than it really is. So I really admire people like Jamie Lee Curtis who are getting more vocal. A lot of the women my age and older are saying, hey, I am not going to get plastic surgery to make you happy, and I'm not going to dye my hair if I don't want to, and etc., etc. So I like that. Be real. There is a movement in Korea by women and girls. I forget what it's called. K4? There's a hand gesture which identifies it, but what it is no makeup, no sex, no marriage. They're dressing down and basically looking as androgynous as they can to be unappealing to the sexist males of their society. The extreme makeup. Yeah, you know what? I have to say, I had to use makeup as a performer. Without that, you are invisible on stage. If you think I'm pale now as an old lady, you should have seen me as a young person. I've always just been super white. And under those spotlights, you are bleached. Your eyes disappear. There are little piss holes in the snow. I mean, it's just not attractive. I had to learn how to put on a lot of makeup. And then when you go out in the real world, you look like a pretend hooker. You know, I mean, it's just really... But makeup is one of the safe things kids can play with. Honestly, I loved playing with makeup. And for years, the most art I could do all day was my eyeshadow and eyeliner, which back then was done with wet on dry. So it was actually like watercolors. You got your little wet brush on the dry cake and you put on your whatever. And I got into that because it was the only art I did for, I was always studying, so I wasn't allowed to do art while I was studying. Sancho! Hello, darling. But Jessica, you know what makeup I love is drag. When I was thinking about, you know what, I'm an old lady now, my skin will not take the makeup. It's not going to work. My skin is sagging. My chemo makes my skin. Eh. So I thought, well, what if I tried some of the tricks that drag queens use? Well, I started watching some of those videos and watching the work of doing drag makeup like Trixie Mattel. And she does great videos, but oh my God, I just could not go through that. And thank you for being here, Sancho. How was your holiday so far? I just finished this for my friend Gloria. I'll write a little note on the back of it before I mail it. As a matter of fact, that reminds me of one of the things I wanted to do to make things more entertaining for her. Yeah, one of the things I'll be doing this week, I'm clearing the studio and getting ready for the coming year of projects. Okay, my friend is 99 years old. So some of these little sayings are not going to be good for her. That's good. In recognizing the humanity of our fellow beings, we pay ourselves the highest tribute. Thurgood Marshall. I should post that. I think I will. Okay, but for my 99-year-old friend, I don't think this is appropriate for her. When you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let go. Carol Burnett said that. It's hard to hold on to some things when you're 99. She's just trying to hold on to her food. Courage is grace under pressure. Ernest Hemingway. Holiday season is great. Ooh. Oh, good, Jessica. Thank you. Oh, see, I have been practicing this for a while. It took some epiphanies to realize that the only one really watching me is me. And what other people have to think about me or say about me, it's not my business. You're free to think anything you want about me. You're free to say anything you want about me. There's nothing I can do about it anyway. But I'm going to be me. The hardest thing to do is to be true to yourself, especially when everyone is watching. Dave Chappelle. No, I've been doing this for 18 years now, and I know you're watching. So, yeah. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Luck is believing you're lucky. Boom. Okay, that is a lesson all in itself, and it is a truism because of the law of attraction, which is always in action. you know that when you're walking around smiling at the world, things smile back at you, better things happen to you. People appear literally like out of nowhere to give you a hand with something. You don't even see them, and suddenly they're there helping you open the door, grab a package for you, open a car door for you. It's like, wow, where'd you come from? Thank you. It's like, it's your energy that attracts what you're experiencing. So keeping your energy high as much as possible is the way to happiness, is the way to get and allow the good stuff that you've dreamed about to come in. Yes, therefore, actually, there's two people these are for. I made a whole bunch of holiday cards, and I'm not quite done. I'll do some more New Year's cards, but I have my 98 turning 99-year-old friend who had to move from my apartment building to a nursing home. So when she lived here, after she got diagnosed with bone cancer, I started making sure that she had a painting waiting at her front door every single morning. So she'd have more incentive to get up and move and check the front door. So I made sure never to disappoint her. But then when she moved to another town that I can't get to, it was like, oh man, I really want to make sure that she stays in good spirits. So I started mailing them, but the best I've been able to do is 5 a week. Well, now that's cut back because my stepfather, who turns 95, I think. Oh my God, I gotta check my calendar. 94 and 95 on Monday. He is in rehab right now because he took another fall. So I'm sending him one little painting a week too. And the thing is, when I do these things, people say things like, oh, you should sell them, or you should have them printed, or da-da-da-da. It's like their mind goes to, how can you make money with that? And the fact is, I don't do it with money on the mind. I do it with love on the mind, and I never look for any payment other than the joy I get from doing it. When somebody gets something I make and they smile, I feel good. I mean, you do the same when you do something for someone, right? It feels good. It's all the motivation I need. I am an old lady. I have everything I need. I have the most important things. I have my self-respect. I'm happy. I'm happy. What more can I ask for? Okay, let's throw some hard pink on this just for some colorful exuberance. So what I'm doing with these little cards is I write a note on the back. It doesn't take a lot because both people I'm sending it to have worse eyesight than I do. They need large letters. I text in caps. Of course, I love it when you talk to me in caps. It's easier for me to say. Oopsie, don't be sloppy. Did I tell you about the potato cheese latke waffle I made? I made a waffle recipe on the go. It came out so good. I got enough to make 3 full waffles. I ate 2 of them before I called my friend and neighbor and said, you gotta try this, and I gave her the 3rd one. You have a wonderful rest of the day, my dear. Thank you so much for stopping by. Remember to leave a like if you liked it. I hate asking for that, but I guess that's the YouTube thing. But I'm not selling anything. Oh dear, I forgot to turn this on. Okay, let's heat that up. Sancho, if you're still here. Emma, there you are. Oh my goodness, I just saw you. I know, it's hard to imagine being 99, and I'm a lot closer to it than you. But practicing your likes. What does it feel like to imagine having this or that? Oh, I got the coolest video thrown my way by YouTube today. A free-range photographer. He's got quite a few followers. I never heard of him before. But he came out to say he was coming out as trans. And he didn't, feel the need to say, well, you might stick with me, you might leave because of it if you're horrified, but he's been pleased by lots and lots and lots of love going out to him, a lot of support. And I did subscribe to him just to be supportive, even though I never heard of him. I thought it was very brave of him to do that. Congratulated him on being able to get in touch with his inner self. And we have to do what we have to do to make ourselves feel right in the world. Oh yeah, okay. Sometimes I see the storm chasers too. I usually watch, actually, I look at the weather from Ryan Hall, y'all, because he does a lot of storm chasing to help rescue people. And also Max Velocity, I think that is. Right, Max? Anyway, Max's weather. They're both really good meteorologists and good at covering the whole country and explaining what's happening. I know. I don't have a problem with that. What I did have a problem with was Jenner coming out against people. That just frosted my Wheaties. I have gay people in my family. None of them are transgender. I mean, they're not trans, but they're definitely gay, and they're my family. I love them. I don't look at them and go, oh, there's my gay family. I just go, hey, there's my brothers. There's my son. They're just my family. I don't have to break it down unless I'm buying clothes for someone who dresses in dresses versus somebody who dresses in pants. Then it becomes an issue. Just like, okay, well, what are you wearing? And also women, we wear pants too. Yeah, some stuff is just crazy. Oh, you know Max too. Yeah, they're great. I love them. Now, I was watching Ryan before I needed a YOLO meter. We just got between 5 and 6 inches out back, but because it's an apartment building, I would have to go and expose myself to the elements to read the YOLO meter, because I would not be able to read it up on the top floor. But if I was on the ground floor or on the farm where I was getting rain or snow that I could measure, then yeah, it'd be fun to support his network. Exactly, Emma. Exactly. Who cares? It's people who I think they're most insecure about their own sexuality that have to keep pointing things out. They're curious about what goes on in the bedrooms that they're not participating in. I think that's it. They're curious. They wonder about themselves even, maybe. The weird thing is, it was put in my head when I was 16 that because of what happened to me with my pedophile, that I only had so many options of how I was going to turn out. I was going to be, oh yeah, okay, these were my choices, okay, Just imagine someone telling you at 16, you can either be a nymphomaniac, meaning you have a lot of, back then, the definition of a nympho was someone who had sex and sex and sex, but never got satisfied emotionally or even perhaps physically. It turns out it's all not true, but I'm not one of them, so what do I care? I could be a lesbian. I could be asexual and want no sex with anybody. Oh, prostitute. Okay, those are my options. No one said at 16 that I could grow up and be a normal woman, okay, and just be hetero, which is what I always believed I was and still believe I am. So I never thought about lesbianism until that was put in my head. I wasn't afraid of it or anything. It was just like, first of all, I didn't know what the hell a lesbian was. It wasn't like we knew about this back. You gotta remember, I'm 71. Back then, there were a lot of things that were not necessarily secret, but young people did not hear about. We didn't have an internet, and our parents weren't telling us shit because most of them didn't know anything. So unless you happened to be in a family with someone who was any of that above, you might not have heard about it, you know? So I remember even my father trying to point out homosexuals in Greenwich Village. Right over my head. It's like, I see guys. That's all I see are guys. It's like, why was he so interested? I never found out. He died at 53. But you got to wonder, what's going on in their heads? They got to know about that. Well, it turns out they denied me the options of happiness before they knew anything else about how we can turn out, and also developing therapy specifically directed at victims of childhood sexual experiences, because they're not really experiences, they're manipulations. So yeah, there's a lot of damage done. That's why I am so eager to see the people who are involved with sex trafficking, Epstein, Trump, and anybody else. I want to see them exposed and punished, because you can never take back what they did. So at the very least, they should be exposed and give the victims of the experiences some relief of their anger, and then understand they've been cast aside by society. I don't remember Mount Everest. I mean, I remember people climbing Mount Everest. I don't remember if I witnessed the first time, but yes, I was there I was 11 years old when JFK was shot. I was definitely involved when Dr. King was assassinated. My father was involved with Dr. King. He was publishing him, and they were friends. So yeah, I was definitely aware of things going on. The JFK assassination was the most horrifying thing I ever saw in my life. Then we had, the moon landing was one of the most exciting things at that age. Yeah, we were watching. Thousands and thousands of people were involved with that. It took so long, and it was just like, the launch of the space program. Yeah. The Mount Everest thing I probably read about in retrospect in National Geo. So. I had a lot of other things at 11 years old to be concerned about. So I don't know if they, I might have heard about it like in the newspaper or something, but I don't remember that being on TV. And then I reached a point pretty early where I stopped watching any TV anyway. I haven't watched broadcast TV except by accident, like in a waiting room. Since the early 90s. It exists only to sell you things. Pretty much like what we're becoming here. But running out of venues. Yeah. After witnessing stuff It really annoys me that in this day and age, with all the information we have, so much more than what we had at the time of the moon landing, that people could even question it, that it happened. Like, I hear that, I don't want to talk about it. Charlie, ¿cómo está? ¿Cómo está? How are ya? I'm doing the last of the 2025 paintings. Oh, let's throw some glitter. Let's throw some fairy dust, fairy dust, fairy dust. Sorry, that's from the birdcage. Madame is doing quite well today, and you, darling? Oh, good. What did you think of his article? Oh, wrong. That one. Oh, of course. Nicely done. Good. I have gotten supremely lazy, and I now use Grammarly to double check me. I realized when I do my first drafts, I write like I think. And then I have to go back and correct everything because I don't want it to be read that way. And I spent so much time trying to stop doing that I was wasting my creative energy. So I could do the corrections after. That's why they call it a first draft. With all the ink blots and all of that. And then you go clean it up. Excellent. You're a very, very bright young man. You have interesting thoughts. And you have interesting things to say. And I'm really glad that you met Mr. Shiny. Because you needed that. You need more people like Mr. Shiny. Mountain climbing. Oh, are they? That's something I have only very briefly touched on the peripherals because my friend in Dublin, his ex-brother-in-law is a teacher of filmmaking and was working on the biography in a movie about a rock climber, and in the middle of it, the rock climber fell and died. It's like that he was like a famous rock climber. I think of mountain climbing, I think of that guy whose name I never remember. Yeah, there you go. Well, see, I do notes like right now because this is my last book. Well, what I always do anyway, all the characters have to get written out. Well, the first two books had some repetitive characters, so they were covered in the first book. And then the second book, I didn't have to go too much into them because they were already familiar. Also, I told the second book more like a movie. The first one was more like, this is Nomaris, and this is what's going on Earth with Nomaris. So it was a different thing. But the third one is, in one area, basically coming full circle, even though the story is nothing like the first or second. But I have two new characters, and one is from another planet. So I'm not only working with my own planet Nomaris, I'm now working with a planet that was introduced in the first book, but we did not visit. We just dealt with people who were from there. Oh my goodness, that's horrible. I've heard about stuff like that. So intent on sharing the experience, they're not enjoying the experience or paying attention to it, and then disaster. I saw one of those people who become like living kites, the ones that jump, and I don't even know what that sport is. They have like flight suits. They do the flying squirrel routine. And this one guy who was very successful, he did it, or had done many jumps, I guess, but this last one completely lost it. And yeah, that was a horrible end. Now, I do not touch TikTok, especially I wouldn't touch it now because Donald Trump is completely all over it. Like anything he's got his fingerprints on, I'm not touching. That's just so stupid. No, I haven't been to a concert like that in a long time. I should say, I haven't been to a concert since the invention of smartphones that could take movies. I have been to things before that. No. Occasionally, you see people doing recording because everybody wants a bootleg copy of the concert. But that's when they're sneaking in recording equipment. And they get the music, they get the audio. The video is not as important. That came a little bit later. But they have to bring in cameras, and usually they don't want to let them into the concerts. But then you do something like a Grateful Dead concert, and that's outdoors a lot of the time, and then you can do anything you want. Yeah, it's like they're not enjoying the real now. They are already distancing themselves from it by looking through that little lens. And I understand if there's something really, okay, like a rocket taking off and you want to photograph that. Yeah, that's going to be one of those things that one of your eyes is in the reality and the other one is on the camera to make sure that you can watch this later. And I understand that because if I was watching a rocket take off, I would definitely be looking at the flames. I love fire. I feel the same way, Charlie. No TikTok. I dumped Instagram because of Zucker Thief. Yeah. 10 billionaires in the last year made $750 more billion in the year. 1 year, $750 billion while the economy is tanking. Because those cheap bastards don't want to pay a living wage to anybody. So, yeah, all those billionaires can go. I saw an expression today in a comment that had me laugh, and it was like, oh, I've got to remember that one. Pick a cheek and pucker up. I love it. Pick a cheek and pucker up. That's how I feel about those social media things. Oh, I think we're just going to stick my initials down there. We'll say good morning to Gloria. My fingerprint birds. And we got that one. And blank paper. No. We got some other things here. Oh, no, I don't like it. that does not have the, no, don't like that either, but it's salvageable. Tomorrow I'll need whiskey. Oh, you're gonna talk. Hey, we talked about Gloria so much. That's her. Gloria!
Hello, Adrienne.
How are you?
I don't know if I can hear you or not. I'm having trouble with this stupid phone. My daughter called me 3 times and it never rang here.
Oh.
So I don't know what's happening.
Well, how are you?
I want to tell you I got three of your paintings today in the mail.
My goodness.
3 of them.
They were
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. They're so pretty.
Oh, I'm so happy you like them.
Yeah, and I wanted to call and thank you while there's no noise going on. And what I got, I said to the girl, well, what have they diagnosed with? I got indigestion. That's what happened to me right now, my indigestion.
Oh no.
And it's not contagious.
Oh no.
It's not contagious, so that's good.
What are they going to help you with that?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
What did you say?
Are they helping you with? Are they giving you something for the indigestion?
Oh yeah, they give me medication. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
It's calmed down a lot.
Oh, good.
It's calmed down a lot, but I'm still spitting up phlegm.
Oh dear.
Trying to get rid of it. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, listen.
Thank you so much.
Well, I love you.
Thank you so much for your paintings.
Well,
okay.
I have another one that's going out. I have another one going out tomorrow.
Uh-huh. Love to all of you over there.
Everybody sends their love.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You feel better.
I can hang up. I'm coughing.
Okay, honey.
Okay.
Okay. I'll see.
Bye-bye.
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 Could you hear that? Oh, you heard her. Okay, we love her accent. You'll lose track of what you're saying if you go in with a buzz. Write down the points you want to make that are important to you and take it from there. Trust yourself. You'll say the right things at the right time. You'll be all right. You have to just, as long as you don't come off like you're arrogant, they'll hear you. Well, that's good. I wasn't sure if you could or not, because with the Bluetooth, I hear it on my hearing aids. So, I don't know. If y'all could hear it, this might mean that when I'm going down the hallway, dancing with my laundry, listening to Unstoppable, that all my little old lady neighbors are hearing me. So I guess the mail was held up. She got 3 paintings today. Now I'm doing it. You know, I think we'll just do a swashy. Okay, why not? We'll try this color. Yeah, I think for someone 99 years old, she's doing pretty good. She's so tiny now. She's like, I don't know, 78 pounds. It'll be fine, yes, absolutely. Believe me, in the end, even if they don't start off understanding, they will when they realize, why throw good money after bad? At least you found out now instead of in the fourth year just to throw away the education and do something completely different because you're so unhappy. Now, I was not rich in high school. Matter of fact, we were just barely middle class in high school. Lower middle class. So we ate, we had a roof over our head, we had furniture, we had a bed to sleep in. Sometimes you might eat spaghetti every night for a month, but we were okay in general. But I did go to school with some kids who were way more privileged, and I have to tell you, it was hard to be around them. Not in the school. We got along fine because we were in the same accelerated courses, but then I did not like going to their homes. I never felt, now mind, you're a teenager, right? I didn't feel adequate. I felt like so out of place in these clearly more opulent surroundings. And it wasn't like they were showing off in any way. It was never like that. They weren't ostentatious. It was just that sense of a level of comfort in their environment that we did not have. And I remember a couple of them being given the opportunity to go around Europe for a year before choosing to go to their schools. It's like, what? Your parents are doing what? You're going where? Whoa. Oh, our parents are going to let us hostel across across Europe. We're going to go to France and Italy, and then it's like, oh, oh. So yeah, it was a real weird feeling. I got over it. I realized that their path really wasn't mine anyway. I did want to go into higher education. I had planned on that for science, but aside from that, it wasn't like I was thinking about getting into science for the money in it. I wanted to get into science for the discovery in it, the research end of it. So hosteling through Europe, it sounded all well and good, a little unserious to me. Yeah, I was a snob as a child. I was like, what do you mean you're not going right to school? And I ended up going right to waitressing. Now it's too blue. All right, dried. Let's have another one. I kind of liked that yellow gold. Let's try a little differently. What about the rest of you, school-wise? What did you want to do versus what did you do? Let me see if you're allowed. Why, you are. It's 2:06 on my time. Lunch away, or in your case, dinner. You ate late. I know, I guess that's kind of normal. when I was in high school, my bedtime was so early that we had to eat early. Yep, I got it on the desk. That's what these are for. I'm 5 hours ahead. The next 5 hours will be wonderful there. Have you worked on a larger painting lately? No, that's what I'm getting set to do. That's why I said this is the week that I clear the desk and make room for the coming projects. I don't want to work on any more small paintings except for the ones for Gloria and Harvey. But that'll be more limited because I really want to get back to work on my giant canvas. And I've got a few small ones that I really liked where we were going, and I had to set them aside. So before they get damaged in moving around, I want to finish them and frame them, or at least get them up on the wall and out of danger's way. Because I found a few of my paintings, my little ones, were kind of stuck together, and when I separated them, 2 of them pulled little dots of paint off the canvas. Like, we cannot have that with my good stuff. Those were just the experiments with flowing paint, and they were just fun. Not what I would call great art. I didn't even sign any of them. But my other ones, yeah, I take pride in those. So that's what I'm gearing up to do. Yes, indeed. I've already made a little bit more room over on my in front of my shelves, but I've got a whole bunch of stuff I need to reorder while leaving room for me to grow some food on my shelves, because we don't know what to expect with the current food situation. For the first time, maybe in my entire life, when I went to the grocery store to buy a lemon, there weren't any. There were no lemon. There were 3 rotten lemons in the bottom of the lemon bin. Nothing. Okay, I had to buy a small bag, an expensive bag of organic lemons, which were left by themselves for good reason, because a couple of them were already growing mold on them. To get my one stupid lemon, I needed to do that. So you start seeing normal staples that are available suddenly completely gone. And it's time to take notice. Actually, we took notice 6 months ago. Pizza! You know what I did last night? It was actually later than I should have been eating, because it meant that I was up later by 2 hours because I couldn't lay down with a full stomach. Now, when I say full stomach, I had a full stomach. I had a big bowl of spaghetti and a arrabbiata sauce, and when I cooked up the spaghetti, I threw in a big handful of arugula, which wilted into it. So I got my greens and my freshly grated Parmesan. It was really good. Oh, and I had a leftover piece of hot sausage. I cut that up a little and threw that in there. What else? That was it. But it was a big bowl, and I ate every last strand. I did everything but lick the damn bowl. I was so full. And then I chided myself. I said, you know how long it's going to take for you to digest all of this pasta? Wait. Sorry. Kind of. What the hell? Oh. Okay, now I'm back on track here. I do love pasta. I do. But when you get older, it doesn't do your system as much good as it did when I was younger. And I've gotten a little paranoid about it because of how my mother landed in the hospital from eating too much macaroni and cheese. It got bound up in her colon somewhere, and she ended up having to be in the hospital for 5 days on an IV waiting for it to break up on its own. She was like, I don't know, 12 hours away from having a surgery to remove it. And I think of that and go, all right, is that hereditary? Because I don't want to do that. So I've been trying to be like really logical and just eat smaller portions like I normally do. I don't eat giant meals anyway. Nevertheless, I did last night and it was so good. But okay, this is where I've learned to trust myself. And even though I overindulge, I went in the kitchen, I'm doing the dishes because it's bedtime already and I can't get to bed until I've settled a little. I got an urge for a pickle. I have these crunchy, sweet hot pickles that are like individual packs that I end up making into 4 servings. Suddenly it was like, oh, wait a second, why do I want a pickle? And I kept saying, are you sure you want a pickle? Gut, are you sure you want a pickle? And my gut kept saying, yes, you need what's in a pickle right now to help you digest what you just ate. So I had, I don't know, like 3 bites of pickle, and I suddenly started feeling better. So, okay. Tell me when you're going to put me down. Green, blue, more gold, orange, bronze. Oh, let's try some copper. Now I'm going to regret that. Bringing it out to the edge like that. I'm going to get some curling. I'll probably have to press this flat before I mail it. You dry. Thank you. Okay. Fresh piece of paper. Let's go a little bit more diffused. Diffused. There. With the concentration of the gold up here. Okay, let's go with rosy edges. Let's try that. It's kind of magenta. Not bad. Yeah, it'll be nice to see this desktop again. It's a shame that we can't really see it because it's a nice butcher block table. But we don't want to stain it permanently. I'm assuming whoever inherits this from me will want the natural wood and not something covered with acrylic paint. Oh, good. What's on it? Mixing the colors this way. Why do I have a notice from Lyft? I'm not going anywhere. Boy, you take one paid ride and then they haunt you forever. Come on, go somewhere. We're here. I thought about going to see Gloria, but it was $35 each way. It's like, I don't have that kind of spare cash. Well, I'm good at painting myself now. Ooh, okay, ducky. I had a delicious pizza last week. It was a pizza that was made in honor of Stranger Things. I don't know what the association is because I haven't watched any Stranger Things. But I can tell you that all the pepperoni was piled up on one half of the pizza and the other side was just cheese. And if I had just put it into anything to cook that way, it would have been a mass of grease. So, seeing it was kind of plain, really, I took out some of my stuff in the refrigerator. I have some of that chili crisp oil, and I put some of that on. Oh, and I had some anchovies. I put some anchovies over on one other side. Oh, and I had some red bell pepper fresh. I cut that up and put that on. And then I redistributed all the pepperoni. It was pretty good. But pizza dough and I are not best friends anymore. So I did not eat all of it. Okay, I like that better. We know where you're gonna go. Dry, thank you. Yep, we got a little curl there. Now for those who are writing to me, I do welcome your letters. I don't want to seem impossible to get a hold of. I just have to warn you that right now I'm so preoccupied with the things I've got to do that I keep forgetting to check email. Oh, yes, tomorrow is Sunday. Tomorrow is always 10:30 to noon Eastern Standard Time. For reference, it is 2:22 as the bell chimes. I think we're going to go off the bill and just trim that. You enjoy your pizza. I will be here for another half hour, providing I don't just freeze like yesterday. My whole computer froze. I had to reboot the whole thing. Sometimes Streamlabs does that to me. But hey, we're here today. I'll be here tomorrow. I plan on it anyway. Where did it go? Okay, darling. And Silly Bubs, you too. All right, Silly Labs. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. I'll be back in the morning. You can count on me. And you'll recognize that if you ever watch the Music Man musical. So let me give you some hearts being sent in your direction, darling. And definitely let me know how it goes. All right, I'll be there. We're here. Yes, it's actually a very good musical. Okay, I think we're going to go with glitter again. It's faster and it's easier, which is what I'm in the mood for right now. Because my mind is now beginning to stray to my soon-to-be famous cheese latke waffle. My sister tried to make it. When I told her what was in it, I didn't have exact measurements for her, so I thought today I'm going to attempt to make a recipe that she can duplicate, which means I have to get it right first. Wrong brush. You know what? This is another one of those brushes that can hit the road. I promised I would dump some brushes this time. I always throw a couple away, but lately I found myself hard-pressed to toss them. Now we've got to just get back into it. There's no sense in keeping every single brush that is getting worn out, just so you have something to make special effects with. Like this one. Yeah, that brush is actually quite ruined. Hey. But it'll be just fine for this. Quickly now. Let's see if this worked right. It looked like it was drying too fast. Yeah, it did. But we got plenty on. But not enough, it looks funny. Oof. Let's try again. I never threw this away. I've had this glitter since 1985 or 6. And I stopped working with it for a few reasons, but it's just never threw it away figured eventually you'll get around to using it again, and here it is. The eventuality happened. Oop, wait, we got more to put away. Strange looking, yes. Okay. Oh well. It's going to be so nice to get a fresh tablecloth on this. Now, you know, I've got some, it didn't occur to me until today, I have some heavy-duty Mylar that I use to line shelves under my plants, because there's no way any water's getting through that. It might be a good thing to lay down instead of these thin disposable plastic things I'm using. What's wrong with this picture? No gold in the fire. Ugh. I don't have gold glitter. Think. Idea. Not you. Would that work? Let's give it a shot. It's working. All right. Thank you. So who's still here besides me? Saturday afternoon. Whoops. I snapped my lid. All right. You dry. I'll be happy. Anything else? We'll just leave it as it is. Because we must move on. You are definitely not ready for nor are you. I'm gonna go put these in the press and see if I have something pressing in there right now, because I've got things piled up over there which suggests I do, but I might not. right, they are under the weight of my Dutch oven. Now, if you are in a wintry area, if there's any chance of you being out in the snow for too long, I suggest that you invest in some of these. If you have a car, keep some in your glove compartment. If you walk a lot, put a couple in your pocket. As long as you've got a way to open this. These activate by being exposed to air. It takes about 20 minutes for them to reach full potency. You open it up and you shake and shake and shake, and it gets very warm. Not hot enough to burn you. You can stick them in your gloves, you can stick them in your pockets, you can stick them down your pants if you have to. Keep yourself cozy and alive. And they are biodegradable. You don't have to freak out about these. You do want to make sure you follow the instructions for safe heat and safe environment. So this is a 2-pack, so you can put one in each glove or in your boots. Hand warmers, little hotties. They can you can get them by a box full at a decent price. I have only had to use them a couple of times, but I've given them to other people for emergency situations, so they've got something in just in case. This looks like a birthday background, doesn't it? It's all light colors. Well, that works with it. We'll just make it a better length. Don't drop. You're my most precious tweezers. Do we have another one? I like that. It's very cheerful. No. Surprisingly enough. Make sure. I sometimes flatten things. There we go. These are basically stuff I made to cut out into shapes to put on other things like that. So glad I found you again. I think glitter again. Yes, it's a glittery thing. Fairy dust. That's got all the colors in it. And I do want to use this up. I've been carrying this around since the 80s. Be nice to use it up. Okay. Okay. Well, I think that we are about done for the day. We'll be back tomorrow. Now, I would say I'll do the cooking online, but the last 3 or 4 attempts on YouTube going mobile, I sounded like a chipmunk or had no sound. So I think I'll just give them a couple days to work that out, since I have successfully done those things from the phone before. I will experiment with that waffle, and once I have it mastered, I will do it live, and we'll share that together. On the next day, I'm hungry for a potato cheese waffle. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow if you're around. Sundays, always 10:30 to noon.